obviously you don't believe in killing white babies, right?
Not in that context, no, sir. No.
What
no.
context?
No context. Just for the sake of this interview, no context, sir. I don't believe in that. There are too many other white forces out here that are much more powerful that I, as a man, would focus on. I wouldn't focus on the babies, sir. I'd focus on the police.
This is the new Black Panther leader, Malik Shabazz, attempting to explain King Shamir's comments that black people should kill all white people and their cracker babies. He just said, for the sake of this interview, no, it's not okay to kill babies. Very clever, Mr. Shabazz, but I think that legal tiptoeing, well, it's probably enough for Eric Holder, but not enough for most human beings. But did you notice a more important target? And it was the cops. Some will say that this is just a crazy guy, he's just a Black Panther, they're irrelevant. Well, no more irrelevant than Mel Gibson. I wish they were right. But this thought that the police are white and the man are the oppressor is hardly unique to the Panthers or to African Americans. It's from all walks of life. Let me start with Van Jones. He expressed his views on the police when he said, quote, most of the people who die in police custody do not die from drugs or some mysterious syndrome, but from police abuse. This is a guy who is an activist who started the group Bay Area Police Watch. What is Bay Area Police Watch? They're supporters of the cold-blooded cop killer, Mumia Abu-Jamal, who shot a cop point blank. By the way, Mumia Abu-Jamal, radically anti-American and a communist. Then there's Jeff Jones. This guy is actually working with the New York State government trying to figure out how to spend your tax dollars with the Apollo Alliance. He was also a founding member of the Weather Underground. He offered this viewpoint on cops. The point of action was if they're going to continue to attack the Vietnamese and to kill the Black Panthers, when we as young white people are going to attack them behind the lines. That's why we smashed up people's private property and fought the cops. Bill Ayers, who saw no remorse for his actions, and remember, actions speak louder than words, the Weather Underground bombed New York City Police Headquarters in 1970, U.S. Capitol Building in 71, the Pentagon in 72, police cars in May of 1973, and in 1974, the Weather Underground wrote about what needed to be done. Quote, we have an urgent responsibility to destroy imperialism from within in order to help free the world and ourselves from its grasps. Without underestimating the difficulties, this is our position of strength. We all will use the weapons available to us. Then I want to show you this clip. I don't think you've seen this anyplace but on this program or on Fox. It is a guy who attended one of the last Weather Underground meetings. This is not ancient history, however, this is from an old documentary. He was sitting there, this is the Bill Ayers, who is connected to the president and many of the president's allies. They talked about some shocking things in that last meeting. Listen.
And the question that was debated was it or was it not the duty of every good revolutionary to kill all newborn white babies?
White people, you see, are the oppressor. It doesn't have to be the Black Panthers. It is the 1960s radicals. Even if they're babies, they must be killed. Okay, so now you have the Black Panthers wanting to kill cracker babies, the Weather Underground saying kill all white babies before they grow up to be oppressors, and then you have this from the former Black Panther leader, the guy who was the last leader before Shabazz, I don't remember his first name. This guy's name is Khalid Mohammed. Now, he's dead. He died in 2001. But before he did, he said this.
I say if they don't get out of town, we kill the men, we kill the women, we kill the children, we kill the babies, we kill the blind, we kill the cripple, we kill the crazy, we kill the lesbians. I said we kill them all.
He gave a speech later in 1997 or 98, I think, in San Francisco or Oakland. We're currently looking for any audio or video, if you happen to have some, or if you know any connection with the radicals in San Francisco, please let us know. Now, he went on in this videotape, and we'll show you more tomorrow. It is shocking. Kill them all. Moms, he says, are the military-industrial complex. They're making the new oppressors. So you have to kill the babies before they grow up to be the oppressor, and you have to kill the white mothers because they're making those oppressors. Now, this apparently is the mindset that our DOJ apparently doesn't mind, doesn't see this as hatred, doesn't seem like we need to pursue this at all. Tomorrow on this program, I'm going to lay out where this comes from. And I ask you to alert your friends because it is terrifying when you truly understand it. We have the DOJ now clearing a path for radicals. Kind of a wink and a nod. You go ahead and take care of business. We're going to look the other way. If these were white people saying this, and some of them are, the Weather Underground are, they should be prosecuted. They should be watched. They should at least be out of the halls of government. Our DOJ is winking and saying, don't worry, we're not going to prosecute, while they're tying the hands of our cops. More in a minute.
America, Glenn needs your help. Send us your story tips, video links, and watchdog findings. We need you, now more than ever. Email becktips@foxnews.com.
You know, I wrote this book. It took me almost 2 years to write it. It's a New York Times #1 bestseller, and thank you for that. If you don't have it, it's available everywhere, the Overton window. But I want to read something to you that it relates to what we're going to talk about. This comes from Edward Bernays. He's the author of Propaganda. He's the guy that Goebbels learned propaganda from, worked for the Wilson administration. Massive progressive. He says the conscious and intelligent manipulation of organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in a democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. Now, I've taken things like that and made it into fiction to show you what could happen. Let's go into fact now. We've been showing you radicals and radical agendas. The president makes decisions in minutes and hours on some things, and yet takes forever on others that seem to be an emergency to most Americans. Yet the media witnesses it and stays silent. Propaganda? BP oil spill. Media is now being silenced, and no one is even reporting on the silence. Why is the media being kept from covering the BP oil spill? Here are a few things. First, a pilot wanted to take a photographer from the Times-Picayune of New Orleans to snap photographs of the oil slicks blackening the water. Response from a BP contractor who answered the phone last month at the command center was swift and absolute. Permission denied. Okay, all right, that's the contractor. I think I understand that. What about the government? Well, the New York Times reported that the owner of the seaplane that was set to go out with the photographer, he said, we were questioned extensively. Who was on the aircraft? Who did they work for? The minute we mentioned the media, the answer was not allowed. The Times article continued. Last week, Senator Bill Nelson, a Democrat from Florida, tried to bring a small group of journalists with him on a trip that was taking it through the Gulf on a Coast Guard vessel. Mr. Nelson's office said the Coast Guard agreed to accommodate the reporters and camera operators, but about 10 p.m. in the evening before the trip, someone from the Department of Homeland Security's Legislative Affairs Office called the senator's office to tell him that no journalist would be allowed. America, the founders knew that the republic could not stand without checks and balances, without three equal branches, the judicial, the legislative, and the executive branch. But you also needed a free press. Checks and balances. We have the most radicalized president this nation has ever seen. And the media is not telling you that they are being forced to sit on the sidelines in the biggest national disaster in this country's 234-year history. And now with Attorney General Eric Holder, he's announced his investigation of the Gulf oil spill may not just include BP. Watch.
There are a variety of entities and a variety of people who are the subjects of that investigation. And for people to conclude that BP is the focus of this investigation might not be correct.
Who wants to bet that means Halliburton? BP, okay. Who is the focus of this? The ShamWow guy? Payless Shoes? I don't know. Halliburton? I'd bet every dollar on it. Transocean? The owner of the rig that BP leased? Maybe. But is it possible that there's even a wider net cast? Maybe ExxonMobil, Chevron, all U.S. oil companies. We know that this president doesn't like oil. We know that Barack Obama had already reached the conclusion, even before obtaining all available information, as with the police in Cambridge, who acted stupidly. When he was asked if he had spoken with the CEO of BP, here's what he said.
I have not spoken to him directly, and here's the reason. Because my experience is when you talk to a guy like a BP CEO, he's going to say all the right things to me. I'm not interested in words. I'm interested in action.
What does that mean? He'll sit down and he'll talk to Ahmadinejad.